my goal as a founder was always to try to create a work environment that people wanted to come and work and spend their time in, myself included, right? And then also attract them from other places that are great to work at, right? The Facebooks, the Googles, the Netflixes of the world. Welcome to another episode of Forging the Future. And today I'm going to talk about the 5 types of capital that I feel you need to support a business. The first is relationship capital. And what I mean by relationships is exactly that, right? Do you have the support of your spouse, for example? You're going to go out and start a business. You're on your own. It's different than getting a paycheck every Friday. And are they comfortable with you doing that? And will they support you in that idea? It's about family, for example. For me, it was about my wife, about my kids. In fact, I was starting a business in order to support them, right? And if you don't have a spouse or you don't have a family yet, where are you getting that support from? It's about getting support from your own network. It might be your parents. It might be an aunt or an uncle. It might be friends, right, that are supporting you as you venture off into this new world of relying on yourself in order to generate, that income and that paycheck. And relationships matter because it's going to be a long, hard journey, right? You need someone that you can rely on, or that someone that supports you in what you're trying to do or accomplish, because there's going to be a lot of people telling you that it can't be done, right? Or that you shouldn't be doing it, or that you're going to fail, right? So having those types of relationships that believe in you and encourage you and pick you up when you're down is super important, because it's hard. I mean, running a business is really hard. So let's be honest, without that kind of support from your relationships, it makes a really hard task nearly impossible. The second type of capital that you need to start a business is financial, obviously, right? And this can come from many different areas. One route is, of course, to try to grow your business through cash flow, right? If you have a little bit of cash going, that you have a little bit of savings, and you're looking for that first client, that first sale, and then you just very slowly, incrementally grow your business and reinvest every dollar you make back into the business. Another approach is to get financial capital from friends and family. The approach Jeff Bezos took with Amazon. He decided he needed $1 million, and so he went and got 20 friends and family to each kick in $50K. And he had his first $1 million that he put together in order to start Amazon. And unfortunately, I wasn't one of those first 20. Or it's VC, right? So you need venture funding or angel funding. Not every business is a venture business. I mean, a VC is looking for someone that's going to not, 10x his money. He wants you to 100x the money. So if a lot of great businesses out there are lifestyle businesses, that don't require venture, right? So you're going to have to look for either savings, friends, or family in order to grow your business. And a lot of perfectly fine businesses can be created that way. But for some of you, maybe the top 2%, venture is another way to go. And that's another really hard route and a whole nother topic of how to raise venture money. But financial capital, you need that in order to get your business going. Another option is credit, right? If you can't get money from friends and family, if you don't have savings to start your business, if you're not a venture type, a business that a venture capitalist is going to invest in, then getting credit from any way you can. Sometimes that's credit cards. The Airbnb guys had a whole folder full of credit cards that they had gotten their credit and financed their business that way. That's one extreme. Or trying to get credit from a bank. But I'll tell you, banks are even more risk adverse than anybody else that you've seen. In fact, they don't look at you as an investment, right? Banks are only there to loan money that you already have, so that's not usually an option. But credit is definitely another way you can grow your business. The third type of capital is intellectual. And by this, I mean, what do you have to offer? You have some new idea, some new innovation, some particular skill that somebody will pay you for. Are you able to learn? Constant learning, of course, learning new technology. What can you offer the world and get someone to actually pay you for it? Is that intellectual capital. So in my first business, intellectual capital was all about knowledge of graphics, right? Back in those days, in the DOS days, you were staring at a character prompt. And what our tools offered was a way to program the very various graphical cards out there with all different standards, all the different super VGA modes, and be able to display images in something that was very hard and complex to do if you didn't have that base knowledge, and all you wanted to do was create a program, right? Or in a services business, it's having skills that others don't have, highly technical skills. Maybe it's about how to program flash memory, or it's about how to do augmented reality, or it's about how to approach a particular problem that you know a lot of about, right? So something in, say, oil and gas or energy, or in another domain like med tech that you can apply, and people are willing to pay you for your knowledge. The fourth type of capital is human capital. These are the people that work for you, right? You need to hire talented people to do a job in your business. How do you find them? How do you convince them to join you on your journey? How do you support them? How do you create an environment that people want to come to work and spend their time? Because let's face it, you spend more time at work than you do at home in many cases, right? So my goal as a founder was always to try to create a work environment that people wanted to come and work and spend their time in, myself included, right? And then also attract them from other places that are great to work at, right? The Facebooks, the Googles, the Netflixes of the world. Why do they want to come and join you? And one lesson I learned a little bit later is, despite my goals, actually creating creating a great work environment is how do you build that culture, right? In your business, that mission, that vision, the values, where you're attracting the right kind of people to your company, and working together and creating that environment that allows you to have the talent to build your business. And the fifth and last type of capital is social capital. And this is your network, right? These are the people that you're trying to sell your services or your product to. Certainly helps to have a network in place beforehand. Like many founders start businesses later in their careers where they've built a network in energy or in medical. And if you're starting a similar startup for those fields, then you can leverage your network to grow your business and get some of those first clients and customers, which is vitally important. As a young founder, I didn't have that so much for my first business, but certainly in my second business, I did have relationships that I could leverage and go to look for initial work, right? Since Softex is a services business, right? So being able to offer that service to people that have known you for many years and can give you that first break, that first intro, which is super important. And then after that, of course, it's all up to you to build that relationship with that business after the fact, right? You only get one shot. Anybody can get in the door one time, but if you want to sustain a business over a long period of time, you're going to have to deliver and build trust and relationships so people can go from one company to another and bring you along with them. So, as an example of social capital, I've had clients that I've built a relationship with initially at a company, for example, NVIDIA, then leave and go and work for Nike and bring Softic into that company and where we did work and delivered projects. And then they've gone and worked for Intel and then brought us into Intel where we've done projects. And then they've gone and worked to Rivian and then have been willing to take us into Rivian for opportunities. And that's an example of having social capital and building that trust and leveraging a network by doing what you said when you said for how much you said. So in my experience, having these 5 types of capital have been instrumental in allowing my business to thrive. And that's relationship capital, financial capital, intellectual capital, human capital, and social capital.